sandals and shorts, and surf and scuba and sand and sailing and soccer. San Diego, California.
Season's greetings and welcome to another episode of Two Balls and a Mic, episode 224, back here on a Monday. Very, very happy Monday to everybody joining us because there is some San Diego FC news that's going up around the team that is currently playing at Snapdragon. San Diego Wave tie against Gotham, but are undefeated this last week, giving themselves a couple points. Good performances. We're going to break that down with the great Abe Cepeda, who has a fantastic article on San Diego.Futbol. It's brought to you in part by San Diego.Futbol. And we're also going to go ahead and talk about a couple of other things. San Diego FC news heating up. The rumored team is an absolute dream team. You're playing FIFA 2014. Some names on there are absolutely incredible. We're going to get down to the actual rumors, where it's coming from that, and what can we expect from this Thursday announcement. Cholos X SDFC. Interesting things. We're also going to go ahead and welcome part of a new little segment. We started it like community aspect, Retas de San Diego, or what would we call it?
Retas San Diego.
Retas San Diego, the great and powerful Esteban Toscano. You see him around town on social media. He's everywhere along with his partner, Brandon. We're going to talk to him a little bit about what it's like being out and about and enjoying everything that they've been doing with their content. And we'll see if we get to Juego Bonito. We'll see if we get to that. But at the end of the day, it's another wonderful day to be here on Two Balls and a Mic, brought to you in part by San Diego.Futbol and company. Yeah, that'll be definitely a good episode. But I mean, it's been a really interesting last week. Just in general, there's been a lot of good. There's been a lot of good soccer. There's been a lot of, I've been busy as heck. Have you been up to anything?
Yeah, I mean, so I wasn't present at the last two home games for Wave. Unfortunately, I got in a car accident on Tuesday.
Oh,
pretty bad accident. So I've been recovering for the most part this past week. Luckily, I'm alive. I am okay in the sense that I'm able to walk. So I mean,
seem to be struggling there a little bit today, but
yeah, no, I mean, today's the most movement I've done for sure. Was able to go. You give me a ride to go up to Irvine to see what I can salvage from the car. But
yep,
it's total loss of a car. It was a very bad accident, but I mean, I'm very fortunate and thankful that both my girlfriend and I are alive and getting better slowly. But I mean, it's been a tough week for sure.
No, 100%. I'm glad that you're here. That obviously that's the number one thing, even though I wasn't the first person you called, but it's okay. It's all good. It's one of those things where it happens in a lot of ways. Many people don't get lucky. I will say that it's incredible what technology has done now, and little death boxes that we sometimes get ourselves in, and just sucks. 100%. Just to give a scope, because we went to check it out, because obviously there's life's memories, there's a bunch of interesting stuff, but we kind of live out of our vehicles for San Diego.Futbol, and we had some important stuff in there, and just looking at what the end product was, what the hell? It's crazy.
I mean, again, I'm very grateful that I'm alive, that I'm still able to come every Monday and do the episode. Seeing the car after, like, wear your seatbelts, please. Wherever you drive, wear your seatbelts,
100%,
because that's the shit that saved our lives for sure. Not all the time, even in a car accident where you flip like 7 times.
So you told me that, right? So I found out, I texted you, and I was like, oh,
yeah, like,
okay, are you good? Everything good? Or everything attached?
That's the fortune. I mean, that's the, like, again, like, no broken bones or anything like that. Nothing to that seriousness. But I mean, again, it's just.
But then, out of the happenstance of this crazy world, there's cameras everywhere. Like somebody caught this and you looked it up.
So I looked it up on Twitter and it was like just car crash in Irvine, and I saw a report of it, and then someone commented, "Oh, here's dash cam footage." So I found video of the car crash, and I mean, I think you have it. It's fine if you want to show it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Just
be careful
to everyone. Just that
some of these images,
bad. It looks bad. So just viewer
discretion is advised.
100%. Yeah, it was bad. It's the first time we show this, and I mean, I've seen this video multiple times, but
just analyzing it. So you'll see where Chiva is in this, and again, it's absolutely ridiculous that
that's my car
everybody's
right
that's you, and
yeah,
that's incredibly. And I put this just because I want to give context, and just like. Los pinches huevos que tienes. Like, it's one of these things where it's like I'm very fortunate that you're alive, and that's all we can ask for at the end of the day.
I mean, honestly,
if I fed you through a straw every episode, you'd probably be here.
I mean, honestly, like it just gives like perspective on anything. I mean, Alicia's saying miracle, and that's what a lot of our family members are saying to us. Like it is really a miracle that. In a sense, you guys didn't break anything, like that we're alive, that we were able to walk out of the hospital. Just kind of gives perspective on little things really don't freaking matter, you know? But
guess what? Soccer's a game.
Soccer is a game. Like shit. Like anything we talk about here is like so like honestly unimportant.
Yeah.
Which is why it's kind of funny to me now that everyone takes everything so serious when it comes to a game of soccer, especially going through that. But I mean, again, I'm very thankful that I get to be here again. I wouldn't miss the podcast. This is something that Tony and I have worked on so long.
224 episodes in a row. Yeah. I mean, literally, you've missed podcasts for less.
Yeah, no, I have. And I mean,
which is fine.
And I did want to come and just be able to like talk about what's happened. Spend time here with you, Abe, any guests that we have. But yeah, thank you for the comments. I mean, it was a very bad accident, but thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I already did my crying, so I'll be fine. But yeah, thank you in the comments. Obviously still going through different pains and whatnot, but yeah, so.
But all right.
That's as personal as it gets.
That's as dark as this is gonna get until, something hopefully not worse ever happens. But this is what it is, right? This is the journey, literal journey. There's a lot of carpooling in our future. Copa America's coming up, so it's all good. I like driving my truck.
Yeah, you do.
Driving into the Californias, but again, thank you for everybody who's tuning in and sending positive vibes. I knew you were. At the end of the day, this is the last thing I say is that you want to be, very to yourself, private. But I believe that it's important to give context to vato. Like, it's not like something little. Like you're fighting here, and I appreciate you being here. That's cabrón. No llores.
No, I'm fine.
No llores
because go buy a lotto ticket, Chiva. That's a lot of people told me that actually. Like, go buy a lottery ticket. But thank you everyone for the comments. No, I did not. I don't buy lottery tickets.
All right. With all that said, there was unimportant stuff happening everywhere, soccer wise, in the context of the grand scheme of things. San Diego Wave being part of that. So with that, I think it's a good time to bring Abe on, our resident expert, San Diego football writer, contributor extraordinaire. Abe, we are here. We are lucky. We're all fortunate. You look amazing. You look awesome. It's a cool little family that we got here. I almost had you in studio, but no, that's not gonna happen. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Actually, we need to talk about that.
We need to have him on studio.
I need to give Chiva a hug. Love you, man. That was crazy.
Yeah. I think that's the first on-screen hug I've ever given.
I think so.
224 weeks.
You've like punched him before on screen, but never like hugged him.
I literally, and I felt bad. 20 minutes right before we went on, I got my San Diego Soccer's cards.
Yeah, you asshole.
And I'm like, hey, man, who am I? But I did it better, and I got him in the face. It was so cool. But he didn't know Gambit. But it's okay.
X-Men 97 is actually awesome. If you haven't watched it,
I need to watch it.
I'm telling you, X-Men 97. Check it out. But in any case, all right, San Diego Wave coming in this week with a couple of very
back-to-back home games for Wave.
Yeah, very interesting back-to-back home games. Abe, you and I were at that Wednesday match, midweek action against Utah. First time that's ever happened. Yes, sir.
Before we dive into soccer, I gotta know, what was there for food in the press box for both games?
Eric Fowler's tuning in. Sliders for the Wednesday. Sliders for the Wednesday.
So the sliders that they've given those
which is fine.
Those are good.
For Sunday.
Tacos.
Yeah, they were.
And pollo asada and potatoes.
Oof. I mean, if we're talking about stuff that's personal.
Oh.
I'm with you, Chiva. It's a very personal episode.
It's a very personal. That's up to you, buddy.
Fuck off. For the past month, I haven't eaten any solid food.
Yeah.
Nothing but shakes and protein, medically supervised, and it seems to be working. Miserable week, but you talk about this food, and I'm at a point now where Abe will literally look at me and eat in front of me, and it's okay. Doesn't bother me. So, thank you for keeping me strong.
We're gonna have to change the name of the podcast.
800 calories a week, a day.
That's crazy, man.
I have a lot of extras. All right. Let's get to the action.
Yeah, let's get to this action. Wednesday game against Utah, first time.
Utah
comes to San Diego. I mean, you guys were there. Like, what was the atmosphere like for the starter? I mean, it's a Wednesday game. I don't think a lot of people showed out, but I mean, did they announce attendance by any chance in this game?
It wasn't a bad turnout.
Yeah.
It was solid. I mean, I think Wave have really kind of consistently get into this place where they have their fan base is going to be there day in, day out.
Like one of those 10 to 12,000.
Yeah, like it's super solid. It gets loud in there.
Yeah.
Let's talk Chivas America. Well, you know what? America is coming here and facing in a friendly some action, La Femenil in Snapdragon. So that's coming up. So maybe we can talk about that here. But yeah, we'll get to SDFC. We'll get to anything else a little bit later.
This is a lineup again that had to be changed quite a bit, especially because of the red card for McNabb. So it was the first start for Sierra Ng this season. So the starting lineup was Kalen Sheridan on goal. Kristen Westphal started at right back. The center back duo was Sarah Ng and Kennedy Wesley, who played together at Stanford already. Yeah. Hannah Lundsvik starting at the left back position. We've seen her play left back before already. Traditionally, she's more on the right back side. We had Colaprico and then Kimi Ascanio starting again. We had Maya Jones, Jana Shaw, Maria Sanchez getting her official first start for San Diego Wave, and then Caruza up on top. I'm going to say this again. I think that midfield looks a lot better without Van Egmond.
Yeah, you've been on a Van Egmond tear recently.
I mean, the games that she hasn't started are the games that they've been winning.
You used to love Van Egmond their first season.
I do. I mean, I'll praise players when they're playing and they're in top form, but I'm also going to be critical of those top players when they're not performing. And I think she's one of those players that unfortunately has not been performing this season. And they do look a lot more attacking, more offensive minded when Kimi Ascanio is starting. Now, I'm not saying a 16-year-old should be starting every single game because that's tiring. But if a 16-year-old is outperforming your most experienced midfielder, then that should be a wake-up call for Casey Stoney.
And she drew that penalty in that first game, too, which is kind of crazy. I mean, taking that shot with that many players in the box was surprising for me. I feel like we haven't seen that from Ascanio yet. But to go for that shot, draw that handball was actually really, really impressive from her.
And that's the thing, that she's playing incredibly well and has been deserving of that spot. Not necessarily like maybe not having anybody else, but like, look, she's doing very well in that role. So why consider anybody else when you have that weapon already? This decision going over to VAR, pretty clear. Rather immediate decision, comes back, and you see it right there. Trancazo right to the hand. And in an unnatural position, penalty all day. And then Jaden Shaw is the one to be called upon by Casey Stoney.
And you don't have Alex Morgan, right? Like, who you trust to take a penalty now?
And I guess you're trusting somebody who's never taken a professional penalty in her career. Jaden Shaw, who currently has beef with with Abe, and we'll get to that in a bit. But Jaden Shaw burying her first penalty, 1-0 here. I'll let you take this, Abe. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Jaden Shaw is clinical there. I think I was kind of surprised to see Jaden Shaw there. I thought we might have seen Kira Caruso or maybe Maria Sanchez, but it just shows the trust that Casey has in Jaden. I mean, Jaden after the match said that she's been working after practice every game with Kira Caruso on those, and she just buried it in the back of the net.
Pretty interesting too. We know somebody. We're actually going to talk to somebody who had been working with Jaden Shaw in the offseason as well. Esteban Toscano coming up had a workout and was the acting defender de facto and goalkeeper against Jaden Shaw in some training. So we'll get some insight on that. It'll be really interesting here coming up. But yeah.
And Jaden Shaw, just to go beyond that, it wasn't just the penalty that she made. She was playing in more of that 10 role. Savannah Casco didn't start this match, and she looked amazing out there. I think, like Chiva said, she's probably a little bit better on the interior. She's making creative passes and coming back and she's all around the field, and it's really fun to see. And then she got the assist late to solidify with that second goal. But yeah, Jaden Shaw is one of the best players that the Wave will maybe ever have.
And I think it's something that Casey Stoney is really going to have to look into, right? Especially when the key players that you have out due to injury start coming back. When you have Jakobsson able to come back, you don't necessarily need to start playing Jaden Shaw on the wings all the time. You can play her at the center attacking mid. You can play her as a false 9, and she's going to shine more than she does on the wings. I mean, you brought in Maria Sanchez, who can play on those wings now. You saw Maya Jones will definitely keep her feet on the ground and put up a fight on that wing side position as well. So Mackenzie Donia absolutely just being the best player for this Wave team so far and scoring the second goal in this game. And again, it's just, I can't emphasize enough how much Mackenzie Donia has improved, or even if it's not an improvement, how much she's just performed at a top level this season compared to the previous seasons. But it's on that wing side, and I think Casey Stoney kind of realized that already, right, Abe? Where she's not really playing her at the center mid anymore; she's strictly playing her on the wing side.
Yeah, and speaking of that center mid position, Savannah Casco, and not to skip ahead, but we might see Jaden Shaw in more of that 10 role as the season goes on. If Casey Stoney feels comfortable bringing Savannah Casco back like she did in Sunday's match, she subbed her out for Danny Colaprico because she looked like she was a bit fatigued there. But if we see maybe a Colaprico, McCaskill midfield with Jaden Shaw as the 10, and then you put Doniak Sanchez in the wing, Alex Morgan as the 9 there, that would be a really, really ideal lineup.
That's a very deadly.
And something that is, again, just to highlight it here is McCaskill's ability to be able to adapt to different roles in different places anywhere in the pitch. Wherever she's asked to play, she's going to give it 110%, which is something you really have to value in a player. And it seemed like Jaden Shaw in this game, and as of recent, just it's kind of getting taken to that red line by Casey Stoney. She wants to get the most out of her and really pushing her fitness. And so I think that, and again, very much skipping ahead to yesterday's game where she pushed, was it yesterday? Sunday. Yesterday. Been a long day. Where he's been pushing Shaw to that red line, and I think that's just kind of the next level of development of her game, where she already has a lot of the tools to be lethal, but it's just a matter of you need to be able to go back to back 90 minutes, and that's something that just gets built with this type of exposure and this type of rigorous encounters in games. So Utah seemed a little bit in disarray just in general. San Diego Way was clearly the better team. They looked good. They were really having different opportunities, and eventually, again, one thing that will get highlighted once again is these game changers, something that Casey, I do believe has gotten better or has a better, halftime speeches, or there's something happening where
They're playing better in the
game changers will come in and they'll play out of their minds. I don't care who it is, right? But then you put them in the starting lineup and it's not that same type of output. Mackenzie Doniak here, being another, once again, an integral part as she comes in the 70th minute. Maria Sanchez putting in a good shift in her start. There's a lot of little things that Sanchez is doing, not necessarily translating into the score sheet, but she's really, really good in the spaces that you need her, and she has an incredible hustle. But yeah, so Mackenzie Doniak here, a fantastic pass, a great weighted pass into the middle. Y con la zurda, Doniak, lethal, clinical.
And that's what Shaw does when she's playing in that interior role, right on the center attacking mid position. She has that vision to give those passes, and that's a pass that we've seen her do before.
Yeah,
we haven't. It's not anything new from Jaden Shaw, but you don't really get to see that when she's playing on the wing, which is why with the U.S. women's national team, she plays more in the middle than anyone else. So props to Jaden Shaw on that assist and a goal. I mean, heck of a game for her. And I mean, again, can't express enough. Like Mackenzie Doniak, her finishing has improved. Yeah, there are times where you're like, man, you couldn't score that, but you scored this before. But again, that's a tough finish, especially with your left. So now you can see that she can shoot with the right, she can shoot with the left. Just on the wing, Mackenzie Doniak is just a star.
Some stats to round this out. Shots 12-8, San Diego, Utah. Shots on target 6-3. One save had to be done by Kaylin Sheridan. 7 corners to 0 for Utah in this victory. So overall, a good performance.
I do want to ask you guys, I mean, seeing now here at Snapdragon in person, both of the expansion teams, Bay FC and Utah, obviously we can see Bay FC is kind of like the more well put together team, but how did you guys see the difference between both expansion teams being the first year in the NWSL?
I think the Utah Royals relied a lot on NWSL talent, like current NWSL talent from other teams that they got in the expansion draft and trades before the expansion draft. And that's kind of backfired on them a little bit. Like they haven't looked super great. I mean, they're at the bottom of the table this season and it's just not looking bright, but it's expansion team issues. This happens in every sport, in every league. And like Bay FC, I think is probably a better model with getting more players from outside of the US that can kind of provide something different that NWSL teams aren't used to seeing.
And that's what makes them a top flight league in the world. Just period. Like that's what makes NWSL potentials to keep growing. Pretty much unlimited right now because they are building out the league. They're adding more teams, and that's what you do in order to expand this. MLS didn't always have 30 franchises. It was gradual. It took some time. It took some planning, and moving towards something that is a little bit better overall for the product is always going to be good because at the end of the day, you're going to make more money. Hopefully, NWSL also follows in the WNBA's course with chartered flights. That'd be really cool because why not? The money is there. But absolutely something for that. Both expansion teams are the bottom two. Yeah, but just put together wise, like it's one of those things where have Utah and Bay City played? If not,
So
that'd be something interesting to kind of look at. And I would take Bay FC in that one. Some words from Casey Stoney after this Utah, and then we'll go match, and then we'll go ahead and get into yesterday's matchup, and then we'll bring on our guest Esteban Toscano.
What type of direction do you give her in terms of what she can in that space? Is it a free form for her?
Yeah, I think obviously when she's playing in that same role, we wanted to kind of execute in between lines and work between pockets, because we know when she can get faced in front of the back four, the ability that we've got to get in behind, she can hurt teams. She's got to do a job out of possession. She knows that. She does it. I thought she kind of once tonight at times, but I thought what she was able to do to pick up the ball, like that's her, I think, her uniqueness in her game, is her ability to play through the ball and follow it
that was just a question about Jaden Shaw and the freedom that she gets in really doing what she wants, but also having certain parameters, right?
Yeah.
You can have a buck wild Bronco and grade 1 player, but you have to give that player directions and kind of what to do, but also know when to put your hands off. And I think that's the mode that they're having Jaden Shaw live under, where, okay, I'm going to ask you to play as much as you can until the legs fall off. But in that time, you need to be productive. The next question was about just, how do we build that consistency and what's more important in moving forward? I think that's something that she highlighted because they haven't won back-to-back games. Wave haven't won back-to-back games this entire season. And so that's definitely something on Casey's mind where I think she believes that she has the team in order to be able to do that at some point. Still hasn't happened yet. Didn't lose yesterday, but undefeated. But overall, just trying to build that consistent aspect. 2 home games, and it was a perfect opportunity for that. There was some post-match fireworks also between Abe and
Was that in
I
this
don't know
game?
if
Or?
I'd call it fireworks.
Was that in this game? Or
it was in this game.
Okay.
It was in this game, and it's a you and Jaden Shaw had a little bit of a showdown. Shaw showdown. Some may say, some have been calling it that, Abe. Some including me. Literally 1/3 of the press corps in that. So what happened, Abe? ¿Qué pasó?
So I asked Jaden Shaw a question about the difference between starting and coming off the bench because she's been coming off the bench in the last 2 matches before that match. I think it was an interesting angle because, she was, actually, I don't want to mention that part, but Jaden Shaw has been the best player for the Wave or I would say second best player for the Wave. I'd give that the best player to Mackenzie Dodiak, but Jaden Shaw is world class. There's a reason why she's going to be on this U.S. Olympic roster. There's a reason why she won the Golden Ball for the Gold Cup. And I just wanted to know what's the difference between starting and coming off the bench. And then we got a little bit of a confusion. Maybe she thought I asked that question before.
I'll let you handle putting the clip. It's your moment, Abe. Go for it.
Wait, I don't. Is that okay?
What is starting versus coming off the bench? You've been coming off the bench the last few games, but being able to start and also produce late in the match. What is the difference there?
I think you asked me this after Gold Cup. No, there's no mentally I just want to impact the team. I know my role and I want to make sure that I can be a good teammate and ultimately we won the game. So it doesn't matter if I'm starting, coming off the bench, not playing at all. We won and ultimately we got the 3 points and we're gonna continue to move forward.
Okay, she wasn't too upset.
Exactly. It's not fireworks.
No, it's not fireworks.
It's not.
You should have seen how red I got.
You hadn't seen this. Where have you been? It's been a week, dude. Come on.
We'll see.
I got so red though. I was.
You did get red. You did get kind of It literally was ruminating in your head. Just did I? No, I didn't. There's no way. Absolutely.
And you know what? I didn't. I will correct Jaden Shaw here and now. Okay, I wasn't thinking in the moment. Maybe I might have asked a question like that before, but I looked into it. I went through every single recording of interviews I've had with Jaden Shaw. I've had a lot of interviews with Jaden Shaw over the past 2 seasons. So there's been a lot this season. There was a lot during the Gold Cup because I think I probably talked to her after every game. Then I looked. I even while you were showing the car video, I remembered I forgot to look for when they played Colombia and the friendly here. I looked through that too, and I found no evidence of me asking that kind of question to Jaden.
Yeah, because it was me.
It was you.
No, it was not. I remember asking her after the Gold Cup, just what was that conversation with Twyla about you not starting, a starting game. So it was just it might have been about coming off early. I don't know, but
no, I do remember you asking a question like that. I do remember you asking a question because she was starting every game and scoring, and then the game she didn't start, the U.S. lost, or that was when they lost to Mexico, right? When she didn't start.
Yeah, well, she attributes it to you. So you know, we'll just leave that as is. But yeah, no, it's certainly a topic of to keep an eye on, I guess. You know, just be careful what you ask now. She knows who you are, Abe. So
Yeah,
just
you know,
one
I
of
could
these days
ask
you're gonna
better
get
questions. I could
you're,
ask better questions, but
you're gonna get a no comment one of these days.
I hope so.
that would shut you down. I don't know what that would do with Abe. Just
No, I've gotten short answers from Casey Stoney. That's a little stressful. Or clarifications from Nate Miller. If my question's a little too long-winded, that's got me a little nervous before, but
it's a process. I mean,
yeah.
we're learning as we go, and you know what? I'll be the first to admit it. Completely vulnerable, very, humble of me. You guys are doing a great job. All right, San Diego Football, you guys are kicking ass. But in any case, that was that game. Preparation.
Yeah, no beef, by the way. I don't care.
No beef. There's no beef. There's no Jaden.
You're a professional.
We will not put the Jaden Shaw diss track that was produced on here. I'll just leave that be. Oh, this is a good question. Can I ask Shaw about the difference between getting opportunities to play in the U.S. women's national team if she moves to Liga Femenil, or that'd be for Chiva to ask? Interesting.
Different level of football.
It's top level football, some would say.
Top
in the
level
NWSL.
football, always an issue here in San Diego, huh?
For some reason.
Some would say that it's not the same level because that is Tigres, not the women's national team. Some would say.
Sources. Anyway, all right.
We did have another game.
Yesterday. Yesterday definitely happened.
Against the defending champions Gotham, which they've gotten some of their players back from injury. Obviously, not all of them starting, but I mean, like Rose Lavelle was available. Dunn was available as well, coming off the bench. So it's kind of like, okay, you're getting some of your players back, but Wave is not getting their players back. I mean, they showed a video clip of all the players injured up in the press box, and a lot of star power on that injury list.
Yeah, and look, credit to San Diego Wave because they are battling through. They are moving forward with a depleted team, and it's not to say it's a bad team. It's just kudos to the depth that's available here. This match started a little bit rocky though for San Diego Wave. Okay, I'll stop it there.
I did want to ask for the last game, how did you guys feel about Sierra Angie's performance? I mean, obviously it's a clean sheet.
She did great.
So now looking back at this game, Kristen McNabb comes back at the center back position.
What
would be better, Sierra Angie moving forward or McNabb?
Mr. Cepeda here, fire starter.
I would have preferred Angie in that spot, honestly. I think McNabb offers an ability to maybe come off or I was thinking maybe she starts as the outside back and then moves over to the center back position, and then you can sub one of your other outside backs on, like Caitlin Torpy, or you could have had Westfall on the bench too, so that way you could just have fresher legs in the outside back position, and then you could have just moved McNabb over to the center back in case Angie wasn't doing well. But I thought Angie was great on Wednesday night. Like, it's hard to believe that she hasn't started for so long, and like it was to the point where it was like, if something wrong, like she hadn't played any minutes. The Wave made a huge effort to get her back in the offseason when she got selected in an expansion draft. But I mean, credit to her that she was great on Wednesday.
And then how do you guys feel about Loonspeaks playing on the left back position and just Westfall? Should that be the way to go moving forward for San Diego Wave, having both players starting?
Ludwig just is a tremendous player. Like, she's been doing really well on that side, but I think that for the strongest San Diego Wave, I think she goes wherever Sophia goes when she's available, and I think that's going to be a really good, interesting pairing to be looking at. And if not, just kind of get used to a little bit more of Maria Sanchez play and just playing alongside her. Just I think that connection is necessarily solidified. But yeah, so this match comes in here on a Sunday day game. Interesting set of circumstances. The reigning defending champions. I asked Abe, did Gotham want it more just because they lost the Challenge Cup? They're coming in. They're the defending champions. It was Wave. They've never beat Wave, was a stat that Abe provided with. But at the end of the day, in the first half, Gotham just dominated.
Yeah,
Wave did not look good at all. Like, there was no movement of the ball. They had no space to turn or try to build anything out of the back, out of the side, the wings. There's nothing on top of just Gotham playing really well and coming up with just plays that were excellent and outstanding. Here's one of the chances that Gotham had early on, and you start seeing those spaces that really needed to be tidied up a little bit. But overall, it's just there was no answer for Gotham in that first half. Here we're going to see an opportunity to kind of shut me up.
Chance.
This is probably the best chance
in the first half. And it's one of those finishes that you see Mackenzie Doniak and you say, okay, come on, like we know you can finish better than that.
Yeah, but it's just kind of, you know, you're testing it out. You're shooting, right? There's a shot on target, like it's part of it. But yeah, some good play by Gotham, but then eventually led to not some good play from San Diego. This another opportunity that just goes right over the bar, hitting the crossbar.
By the way, this game was just a phenomenal goalkeeper performance on both sides.
Oh, 100%. Abe was having a blast. These are the games where I just sit back and just like really, really enjoy. Like, wow, they're fantastic here. Nothing for Kalen Sheridan to do here.
And the thing is, like here, Kennedy Wesley kind of loses the mark. It's one of those plays where they're inside the box, you're covering tight, but then they kind of pass back to open up spaces. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what happened. Stevens was wide open right there in the middle. So you'll see here, right? There's a play going in. Everyone's still kind of like freaking out. Like the play's right there. All right, I'm going to pass it back. Open up some spaces. First touch, that cross is phenomenal because it's in between 3 Wave players. So then Kennedy Wesley could have played a little more tight to that player. But at the end of the day, I think this was just a phenomenal play by Gotham as well. That through ball in there between 3 players is a very tight angle, and the control and then just the finish was just excellent.
Yeah, turn and shoot was great. Abe?
Yeah, I mean, to see 4 players around her like that and just have no answer for it is crazy. And I mean, Ella Stevens started that play too from the back too, which was kind of crazy. She had like a disguised pass to kind of sneak it by Colaprico to then eventually send it down to Lynn Williams. But then, yeah, Jenna Niswanger with the cross is unreal.
Yeah, and my biggest thing, as soon as I saw it and I pointed at I'm like, that was a perfect square of space. There was nobody around. And that's literally what just happens there. Just so much space inside the box. That can never happen. And I think this is kind of where Abe and I look at ourselves and we're like, ooh, like unless Wave have a very, very quick and profound response quickly, this can turn ugly. Just because of the way that Gotham was really just having their way in every single sense of the word in that first half. But eventually the second half came through and it seemed like, again, Casey Stoney's direction, Casey Stoney's words in the halftime really got to the players. Maria Sanchez came on. She didn't start this game, but she came on into the second half after the break. So it was a different look. It was a fresh team. You can definitely tell that there's a different gear with Maria on that field.
I mean, at the same time, Rose Lavelle came on for Gotham as well. So it's kind of like, okay, Maria Sanchez came on, Rose Lavelle came on. All right, game on, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to compare Maya Jones with Maria Sanchez, but just watching it, Maria Sanchez does so much defensively while playing like an attacking role, where it's just there was so much pressure on the Gotham defenders by her. It was crazy.
How many Kalen Sheridans?
So actually, this one, Craig missed this one.
Yeah.
And I was looking over at the booth. I'm like, Craig.
Well, it's because it hit crossbar. It was kind of hard to see. But I mean, it was a great save.
But if I can see it,
yeah,
it was a great save. That's one of my favorite saves that she's ever done. Kalen Sheridan. And then a couple minutes later, another world-class save by Sheridan. She comes out right there, just a la Osvaldo Sanchez.
That one got the Kalen Sheridan.
That one got it.
The first one should have got it, but
yeah, Craig was making up for it. I was he probably had a sandwich in his head and in his mouth when he saw the first one. Oh, and just took another opportunity. Got a Kalen Sheridan after that from the great PA announcer Craig Elston of Snapdragon.
Again, it's little mistakes like this in the midfield that make me question Emily Van Ekman, right? This was a game that she started as well, but I think she's been making little critical mistakes like this. And call me a hater if you want, but I mean, the facts speak for themselves. Like the 2 games that they won with clean sheets at home, she hasn't started. Then we had this free kick by Maria Sanchez.
What a save by Berger there.
Great save.
Okay, what was better, the save or the kick? Because the kick itself was like, it looks unstoppable.
It was a great save because Tony will speak for it. He's the goalkeeper here, but brazo cruzado, those are always hard, right?
That's just a pretty save. That one's gonna. Hopefully, somebody took a great photo of that and she'll hang that up. Because she denied Maria Sanchez of her first San Diego Wave goal. With a great save. Goal. That was fantastic.
That would have been, great shot. Just makes me believe that a free kick goal is coming for San Diego Wave with Maria Sanchez.
A good set piece. And the thing, something that Casey actually asked for is like, we need more open play goals. Because in set pieces, like they seem to have something figured out where they've had a couple set piece goals. And then this year, McCaskill delivering to the back of Hannah Lundsvig's head. Admittedly, she didn't know where it hit. She didn't even know that she scored initially. The stadium also got the announcement that it was Amira Ali. Camera went over. Amira Ali was announced, but then there was a correction in scoring. Correction in announcement, not scoring, because Lundqvist scored the entire time. But yeah, tied it up, and I think this is a reward for a very well played second half by San Diego Wave. And admittedly, Casey does believe that they should have gotten more out of that second half, just the way that they played, perhaps coming out with a result. But I don't think she was mad. I don't think anybody could have been.
It's one of those
upset.
It's one of those games where your first half performance was just so awful that you wish you could have came back and won in the second half. But a tie at the end of the day against a very tough team like Gotham, it's not going to be bad down the line. You just hope you're able to go at home and either get another tie or beat them at their home now in the future. But overall, better second half. So what was the press conference like after this game?
I don't know. Abe didn't decide to breathe fire this time. Okay.
No, it was pretty light. I think Hannah Lundqvist, we got to talk to Hannah Lundqvist for the first time. She's really was just all excited. She had all the. I always think it's funny when the players come with all their sirens gear because they could just like barely carry all of it. Like, it's so much. But yeah, that goal was pretty great. She had no idea that it was her, which is kind of crazy. Like she even said she wasn't really trying to score. She's more of a blocker during those set piece corner kicks. She's just trying to like hold other players back. But as the ball comes to you, kind of just gotta jump for it.
Yes, she was excited after the match and everything, but for the actual goal, she admittedly said like it wasn't like it's just her like European just stoicness of just like it was a goal.
I even asked her about like the season as a whole, like what her journey's been like, and she's made sure to say like we haven't been getting the results we've wanted. We have more games that we could have won, which is like really probably that European mindset of just wanting to always win. Everyone has that mindset, but just she made sure not to be like, "Oh yeah, we're doing great." She said, "No, we can be doing better."
Overall, with these two performances, Wave jumped into a playoff spot so far. It's only 9 games into the season, but they jumped up to 8 plays with 11 points, just 1 point behind Gotham, and 1 point behind North Carolina. So they got a lot of catching up to do when it comes to the table and climbing up the ladder. Obviously, not the start you want from the defending Shield champions, but you're heading into the right path already with this kind of undefeated home stretch. So now you have back-to-back away games, and you're going to be facing against very tough teams. So you're going to be traveling over to Bay FC next Friday, or this upcoming Friday. And then next week, you're going to be traveling not too far, but it's going to be the first game of the season against Angel City.
Yeah, this is a good time to recover for the Wave. When you're playing this many games in California, you got to take advantage of it. And Bay FC, they're a good team, and Angel City is a good team, but they should be able to win both of these games.
Yeah, good outing. Upcoming away matches, we'll see another test. San Diego Wave is definitely a home team, and that's something that's been proven, and that's kudos to the stadium itself, the fans who come out. Making Snapdragon a very difficult place to play at as an away team, but we're on the table when we're Wave after 8 games last year. That'd be a good, interesting thing to look at. Abe, I'm gonna put you on.
I'm beyond that. I'll get you that by the end of the episode, Jeff.
Absolutely. But yeah, overall, I think this is the next couple games are going to be important. If you can get a victory on the road, I think it's going to spell consistency, and I really hope it's that first matchup against Bay FC. First time traveling up into the San Jose area, and then a sort of rivalry match against Angel City. I hope that's McCaskill's first goal. That'd be really, really, really cool. But overall, I think it's going to be San Diego Waves destiny, and they can control the way that they go here. And I think they have the squad to definitely do it, and they just need to nurse some very, very interesting injuries, just timeline wise.
100%.
Yeah.
So I mean, overall, I mean, you're going back to the path of getting points and not just having embarrassing losses like the one they did against Seattle. But other than that, I mean, that's what we have for San Diego Wave this episode. Anything else, gentlemen, that we may have missed for Wave?
Check out the article for this match for Abraham. Sean. ¿Tú tenías article?
What?
Did you have an article for this one?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, absolutely. So check out San Diego.Futbol for all that. Abe,
Keep tabs of our socials. This week we'll be having Casey Stoney with the media presser and goalkeeper Caitlin Sheridan as well.
Caitlin Sheridan. Still working in the back. Actually, Abe saw it. Yeah, Abe saw it in action. Like,
he stopped Caitlin Sheridan from seeing her family. He just like completely gets in the way. He's unreal. This guy.
I believe it.
First of all, that wasn't her family. Second of all, she came up to me and said, "Hey," and I was like, "Hello, world class stuff." But we're working on getting Caitlin Sheridan for an exclusive interview for San Diego Futbol, as well as Maria Sanchez. So just look for that. We're just working on scheduling for that. So
you didn't tell her Happy Mother's Day? She's a dog mom.
No, I did. That's the first thing I made sure to tell Casey. First question, hey Casey, happy Mother's Day. Blah 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 blah. Question. Nice. So good stuff from everybody, gentlemen. I think San Diego Wave is good. Get that info for Jeff, and we'll be good to go because we do have another guest coming up in our new kind of interesting little segment. Yeah. Abe, I'll put you away.
Thank you, Abe.
Abe goes away. The Wave
this
banner.
Is a very fun segment that I'm excited for. I don't think we have a banner for it just yet, or I don't know.
We can
make one real quick. Literally. But Tony and I were thinking, and it was a great idea to try to have a weekly guest, if not bi-weekly guest, but a segment that we're going to be calling Retas SD, Retas San Diego, where we want to have people from the community that are doing stuff in San Diego that essentially is kind of like soccer related into the soccer world here in San Diego, soccer culture, whether it's people from supporters groups, from the many supporters groups that SDFC has, or people that are working on side projects as well, kind of like Esteban is doing over with Brandon. So without further ado, we'd like to introduce Esteban Toscano into the podcast. Esteban, how are you doing, my friend?
What's up, guys? I'm doing great. I'm excited to see this segment for you guys.
I mean, and we had a great conversation with Senor Firefighter Trevor from Chula Vista Fire Department, who was part of the Chrome Ball Tour first responders game. So that was really cool, and just kind of get his perspective in on all of that. But I mean, talking about Chrome Ball tours, Esteban, I think you've been to most of them, if not all of them. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but just kind of give a first like kind of introduction, and people who don't know, they see you in the comments, but if you know, if you're a young lad on the internets and on the Instagrams and the YouTubes, like, you'll know who Esteban and Brandon are, but just kind of give a lowdown on what you do here in San Diego for the community soccer wise.
Well, what's up, guys? My name's Esteban. I'm a content creator. I'm also a coach for Coronado FC. I'm a goalkeeper coach. I have a team in Coronado FC. I used to be a coach at high school as well, but I've been doing social media for around 8 years, starting on YouTube with Exquisite Football that we started doing again on Instagram. But yeah, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all that fun stuff, going to the events. Yeah.
It's been a great journey.
Talk to us a little bit about Exquisite Football, right? I mean, kind of popped up on our Instagram, and just great content that you guys are doing over with San Diego. So what's the vision? What's the goal with Exquisite Football?
Yeah, so Exquisite Football was the YouTube channel that Brandon and I created. Actually, no, Brandon created first, like 10 years ago, and then I moved. I used to live in Tijuana, but moved here in Coronado. And my brother was in the high school team. He played with Brandon, one day I went to a practice of theirs, and Brandon was like, "Hey, do you want to be on a YouTube video?" I was like, "Oh, sure, why not?" I used to be a goalkeeper. I played goalkeeper in Tijuana, so I was like, "Why not?" We played, filmed, and ever since that, 2016, I believe, we've been just doing videos. But the vision for Exquisite Football is to just create satisfying, exciting content, whether it's like tutorials, reviews, just things going on around the community, just very satisfying content, and working, um, doing content with San Diego FC, and just doing interviews and doing stuff like that, on our own projects is just fun.
Bato, look at this that I'm going to share right now. I mean, from Exquisite Football on YouTube. Morros, Bato.
Oh
No.
my
How old
God.
were you guys here,
Fucking
man?
yes. In the game for a while.
What is that? 20?
So,
I think I was like 14,
years ago.
15, maybe.
The
That's
Duck song.
crazy. Tan morritos, Bato.
It's been a
That's
journey. It's been a journey.
100%.
It's been a grind, but we're enjoying the journey. I mean, we have big goals in the future for sure, but the journey is great. We've had the pleasure to work with a lot of brands. We were gonna work on a project with San Diego Loyal, but that never happened. But oh well.
Yeah.
But yeah, working with different teams. We've had the pleasure to work with Real Madrid in the past, Manchester United. Like, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, the opportunities and the people that you meet in this industry. Like, it's crazy how small the soccer world is, especially in San Diego.
One of the first and I think best connections that we've had with you is just you facilitated the one and only beach episode with at Young the Ryan. There was an episode, an interview that we had at Coronado.
First time he was a guest with us.
Honestly, I go back to that and I'm like, that was so cool. Like we
That
should
was a
do that
while
again.
ago too.
But
That episode was dope. That was good.
I really enjoyed that. But now you're saying that you're working with teams, and you have been with SDFC. Just I've seen you around. Is this an official partnership? It's just kind of like a tag. We need you here. You're a model for SDFC. For people who don't know, if you buy merch, you'll probably see Brad and Esteban rocking it first.
Yeah. So the way we've kind of started with the San Diego FC content happened like a year ago for sure. A year ago, I knew a lot of people, obviously from Loyal, but our friend DK, that was like the first ever person that I really knew, and just introduced us to the world of collaborating with stores, product, doing reviews. And then they actually invited us to go to the office and just to have a talk of hey, DK was just curious, what can you guys bring to the table? Something in the future. And little did you know, the first thing that they wanted us to do was their first merch campaign. And that was Paul Dewhurst. Paul Dewhurst, shout out to you. Thank you for reaching out. That was insane with Loretta, media person. She was great too. But yeah, from that. Oh, it was actually the way I met Paul was at a rally, the one in IB. The one in IB. That was the first time I met Paul, and we gave our contact information. It was we made the connection, and yeah, just making content on SCFC. Oh, also we're Brandon and I are brand ambassadors. So what that means is we represent San Diego FC through socials, through engaging with the content. But yeah, just being creative, being as much creative in the community and soccer wise. Yeah, having fun with it.
And you got to do different workouts and drills with different players. And over the summer we saw a video with Jaden Shaw. Just tell us a little bit about that experience. Tony mentioned it where you did some drills with you were the goalkeeper. So what was that experience like playing with a pro player?
That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. The way I kind of got involved with that is a good friend, Sam Phillip. Sam Phillip is a personal trainer, private trainer. He's actually done a lot of private sessions with top elite players. Curtis Jones is one of the highest players, I think, one of the top players. A lot of LA Galaxy too, and a lot of NWSL for sure. But he was like, "Hey, I need a goalkeeper. I need someone to film. Are you down?" And I was like, "I am down. I am down for sure." It was fun, dude. She hits really hard. I was very surprised. It was very good. Did some really good saves on her. She's very smart, very, very smart. And these drills that we do is something that she does in her game to this day.
Yeah.
Getting into those pockets and just like checking her shoulder. She's very smart, very clinical. It's just awesome, awesome. And I think I did two, 3 sessions with her. It was fun. It was fun. Yeah.
No, that's awesome, man. And you can definitely see that hustle that she has and the grind to really stay on top form, and just to see that you're involved in that and helping her train and one of the best in the world, literally, at what she does in Jaden Shaw is awesome. So
and just for the people out there, I mean, Esteban Toscano and Brandon are very good at playing soccer. I mean,
Look,
we did a video with them, and we
look.
sucked so bad that video did not get put up.
Literally the
I'm
worst.
sorry, Gio.
No, do not apologize.
No, it's
I
fine.
hope you burned the memory card where that was stored, and I hope you guys forgot to hit record, because that footage,
I kid you not,
was
Tony
abysmal.
Tony got in the car and he's like, "That's the worst I've ever played in my life."
It was so bad, and you can agree. It's fine.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, it
fine.
was
It's
bad.
fine. It was really bad.
It was fun.
100%. Like, it was
It
really
was
cool
fun.
out there. You guys are tremendous. You guys are the younglings and this next generation. But no, check out some of the content that you guys make, and definitely is a highlight of the soccer community here in San Diego that's already been here. Yeah. You mentioned, you're planning something with Loyal. You were planning, and you've worked and collaborated throughout. So you're
le paró un penal a Roberto Carlos.
I think you're the only San Diegan that stopped a penalty from Roberto Carlos. So have that. I think that just puts you up in the San Diego soccer Mount Rushmore. I think we were talking about this with Abe, that is Shannon McMillan in the Mount Rushmore of San Diego soccer. Yes, World Cup gold medal, done. I stopped a shot from Shannon McMillan, the ergo Mount Rushmore. But Roberto Carlos, I think that puts you up there too, Esteban. But no, man, it's really cool to kind of get your perspective. I know you guys talk about SDFC. You guys talked about a champions. What are your thoughts? And we'll get into kind of the rumors that are spiraling around SDFC. And I don't know if, as a brand ambassador, you're even allowed to, to talk about it or to add to the speculation of what's going on.
We don't want to get anyone in trouble.
But obviously, you got 3 players for SDFC already signed. There are rumors. There was Chuky. There was Royce for a little bit. Nacho. Today, De Bruyne, Ramos, which may have some truth to it. We have some evidence here coming up. But just what are your overall thoughts of what's happening in San Diego with professional soccer?
Well, the rumors and all that, it's very exciting. Yo creo que es puro humo. I think that's just smoke. I mean, the things I've heard about Ochoa is that he vacations here. I've never seen him post anything about San Diego ever, so I don't know how credible that source is. Chuky won with PSV. He's 28. They're trying to do maybe something with like Carlos Vela, that type of style where he was like at the peak-ish level and a marquee player. But to tell you the truth, like I don't know anything about the sources. Like I'm just hearing about like Ramos and Kevin De Bruyne and all these like different things. It's exciting. It's really exciting to see who can come and be the marquee players. But I think it's a lot of smoke. Until I hear the "Here we go" from Fabrizio Romano, I'm in.
Yeah,
no, 100%. I mean that's the fun of it, right? Especially when a brand new team coming in, there's going to be a lot of rumors, and what we'd like to talk about is a lot of people will post stuff just for the clicks and likes, unfortunately. And I mean, don't believe anything you hear until it is official, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, again, if these rumors are true and they end up bringing Sergio Ramos and they bring up a lot of these older players, in my opinion, the MLS isn't helping themselves with that known title of a retirement league. So
that's a thought. Like that's a take.
39-year-old Sergio Ramos coming to San Diego. I mean, how much is he really going to be able to help out on the field? I mean, he really didn't help out Sevilla much this last season. So, being realistic, a 39-year-old compared to maybe a healthier 27-year-old center back, I'd rather take the 27-year-old center back than a 39-year-old Sergio Ramos. Yeah, I mean, he'll sell jerseys and he's a leader and whatnot, but how serious is he really going to take it? Like, we've seen all these star players coming to MLS and they don't take it as seriously. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, especially SDFC trying to follow that right to dream model too, right? I mean, bringing players of that caliber wouldn't really make sense or align with those values either. So we'll see what happens.
I agree with you, Esteban. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors happening. Hugo Sanchez being a smoke and mirror as well to compadre, to neighbor. Probably seen him around town more than Ochoa. I can confirm, and this is me confirming, Ochoa does like to vacation in San Diego. Source is just in terms of that is my sister. She works at Ben & Jerry's in Seaport Village, and he is a frequent customer of that area and Ben & Jerry's. So he's around, like, right? Like, who doesn't want to come to San Diego? But Esteban, again, I would love to kind of have you back on and just kind of shoot the shit here, have you in studio, and just talk about
I'm down.
In general. Maybe just break the shackles of San Diego soccer, open it up to Champions League. It's crazy. Were you there for the Dortmund Loyal game?
I wasn't there. I think I was in LA. I think for the Madrid stuff. I don't remember. Maybe it was a Juventus game or something. I forget.
But that team is now in the Champions League. The same team that played in the final. It was Snapdragon. Isn't that just absolutely insane? And it's one of those things where chain reactions is happening. Had they not faced San Diego Loyal, who knows where they would have been. They saw some Nate Ball and saw Coque Vegas playing in that role. I was like, what is going on? Like, we need to adapt to everything. We almost let them score. But in any case, this is really cool just to have. Esteban, is there anything else that you can let us know that you're coming up, collaborating with SDFC, or anything on the horizon where they can find you?
Yeah, so just projects, be on the lookout. These are passion projects from Brandon and I, and Exquisite Football. That page is where all the SDFC stuff is coming. So just follow that page and you'll see interviews, you'll see stuff that we can find about San Diego FC, Right to Dream, just everything San Diego FC, and just cool content, satisfying podcast style, just a lot of fun things like that. And follow me, Esteban GK, and follow my guy Brandon Beast. He has over 100K on Instagram and then 1.5 million on TikTok. Hopefully TikTok stays alive, but we'll see with that. But Instagram is where I'm.
Yeah, we got a couple friends that are interested in that TikTok thing. Shout out Francisco Velasco.
I mean, Esteban's been supporting so we keep posting.
Yeah, I keep engaging, reposting it, and just but we'll see what happens with TikTok. They're not gonna sell, so I don't know what's gonna happen with that. I heard a lawsuit because it's the First Amendment, freedom of speech, affecting a lot of people. I don't know. Honestly, like, if TikTok leaves, it is what it is. At the end of the day, the attention has to go somewhere, whether it's Reels, whether it's YouTube Shorts. So I'm fine with anything that happens. But yeah, Instagram.
Threads, guys? No. Guys. All right, Esteban, really appreciate your time. Really appreciate you hopping on, and we'll keep this going. And I really hope that we get some cool, interesting news to solidify and really sink our teeth in with San Diego FC and get the show on the road. It's been a while.
I think we all just want to see soccer happen already.
100%. Just let that ball roll. Esteban, we will see you. Yes. We will see you on.
Sorry, I think I have an idea for you guys. You guys should do like a podcast live at a Chrome Ball tour or something like that at an event. That would be dope.
Breaking news, Esteban, we have been currently in talks with SDFC perhaps to set up a booth and to do a all-day podcast at a perhaps National City Chrome Ball event. Very preliminary, but yes, 100%. Like we want to do that. I want to do that. Like honestly, if we had done it for Chula Vista,
that would have been sick.
It would have been sick, but it would have been a lot. Just a lot.
There was a lot of things going on.
There was a lot of things going on.
For one, I'm a National City native. I'm sorry, Jiva.
That's fine.
You're from LA. It's fine. Anyways. But in any case, like definitely that's something that we want to do, and we didn't hop on Esteban. Like we'll set up the couch, to set up the chair, whatever they let us have, just the back of the truck.
That would be sick.
Like busting with the boys, trucking with Tony.
That'd be dope. I'll be there. I've gone to every single one of them.
I love that. Let's do it.
Right,
let's get those
Esteban.
talks together.
Wow.
Esteban,
thank you so much for joining us, man.
That's crazy that I figured that out. Whoa.
You're putting it all together. I love that. Again, thank you for supporting Esteban, and we'll do the same, supporting what you do and really highlighting the soccer community, because that's what this is all about. At the end of the day, San Diego soccer needs to be respected and needs to be honored in whichever way it's possible, and it's only possible with the San Diego locals themselves. So thank you. I think you kickstarted a segment, Retas SD.
Retas SD.
Love that.
Thank you, Esteban.
Nope. Thank you guys for having me. Chiva, vamos. Let's fucking go, dude. Sorry for swearing. My bad.
Oh, you're good. No, you're good.
Thank you.
Yeah, just don't get cut for SDFC. And hopefully it's not a PG. That'd be interesting.
Oh my god.
Very interesting. All right, cool. Thank you, Esteban. I'm gonna put you away. Enjoy.
To circle back for San Diego Wave, Abe found the stat. Wave were third in the standings through 8 matches last year. So big difference, 8th place to 3rd place.
So that's a direct correlation between where they were, where they are. It was a funky season just because
15 points.
They were at 8th and then they ended up at 1st, where their play didn't seem to go that way. Right. I think right now in the season last year, we were talking about like World Cup's coming. This team hasn't put it together. And what are they going to do? Papi Chavo chiming in. So did Procrastinating Puma. Who wants to score on me? Now City Chrome Ball Tour going to happen on Mile of Cars. That'd be really interesting, really cool. I think there's a couple of locations that they were having in mind. So either way, I hope it's good. They've been doing a great job with these community events. Again, shout out to everybody who Esteban mentioned, doing a lot of hard work behind the scenes to make these events happen. There's real people behind this. It's really cool to know them and how they put it together. Next to the price breakers, that's what I said. I said that you have next to the price breakers, and then have little Rob, because he was cruising with his hyena on his side.
I know.
People thought they look crazy, but I think that they look classy. But then again, that's only if you ask me.
Only if they ask you. That's a perfect segue into San Diego FC, because we gotta talk about these rumors that have been going out, especially today, really.
Yeah. So Sergio Ramos
being
the biggest
concrete
one.
I think Kevin De Bruyne is more kind of like mucho humo for sure.
Yeah.
Because he's still at the level where he can still compete another year with Manchester City. I think his contract is up, but I can see him staying in Europe. I don't know about him coming to MLS just yet. He is 34 years old already.
Yeah.
But I can see him definitely being like a Luka Modric, staying at Man City until he's 38.
Maybe he sees ghosts in the US. Last time he played in the US, I believe, not last time, but one of the times he played in the US was with Chelsea, and he tore his ACL and Mourinho didn't favor him on his return. Same. He played with Mo Salah in that preseason game. For those Chelsea fans out there who
remember Mo Salah.
Remember
Mo
Salah.
But the biggest one definitely being Sergio Ramos. Yes. And I mean, there's a clip that you're going to be sharing from El Chiringuito TV. If you don't know Chiringuito TV, it's just the biggest soccer news outlet really in Spain.
It's like
Fútbol Picante,
It's Fútbol Picante with a lot more like, hola, soy Coque Vegas. type of dialogue.
Españoles.
Yeah, it's directly from Spain. Usually when you see these big, like it's like First Take, in a way. It's like I guess Pat McAfee, but it's more established. It's been here for years. So usually like they have some really credible sources and just kind of have an idea of what happens, especially with Spaniards and Spanish players in general. So this is we'll play it and then we'll give a rough translation on the back end. Let's see, we'll go here. Put that.
Tiene detrás un proyecto.
Unmute the site.
Esto es súper importante y que quiere hacer la competencia al Inter de Miami. Y me explico cómo quiere hacer la competencia. Quiere hacer la competencia porque digamos que el Inter Miami sería el Barcelona en Estados Unidos y falta el Real Madrid en Estados Unidos.
All right, so just kind of to take it piece by piece, right? So Juan Fred Sanz in part of this TV show is letting kind of the background of like, hey, like obviously in the US, there's already a Barcelona with Inter Miami.
Yeah,
Inter Miami
players like Messi,
Jordi Alba, Suarez, Busquets. Like it's basically Barcelona 2.0. Like sure, I will give you that. Definitely that. What he then goes on to next. Madrid? He's asking, where's the Real Madrid then of the MLS? And so this is kind of taking a turn into like, okay, kind of constructing that argument.
Entonces me dicen que en California el equipo del San Diego está muy atento a la situación contractual y el fin de contrato de muchos exjugadores del Real Madrid.
So what he's saying is that the SDFC, the California team, is very much looking at players that are ex-Madrid who are at the end of their contract.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Who
smart
those players maybe?
In that case, just kind of put those pieces together. Anybody whose contract is expiring is getting linked with SDFC.
Yeah.
Marco Reus, part of that. Not to say that there isn't any truth to any of this or where everybody's at. Like, again, like you're entering a space where San Diego soccer really hasn't ever been. Where locally, the discussions aren't even in the stratosphere. And again, there's a lot of just American soccer coverage and this and this and this. This isn't even to just hype ourselves up at all because we're competing, you and I, and Abe, and everybody who's on this journey with us, with Fabrizio Romano. And it's not necessarily like a competition because we're not going to be in that stratosphere just yet. Just because in learning with the people that we've met, talking behind the scenes with reporters, it's just like, hey, how do these things work? And just throughout these 4 years, kind of compiling this knowledge. And it's one of those things where anybody can say anything.
Yeah.
And anybody can say anything. And I think that you and I have taken pride in the fact that if we have something understood from a credible source, we'll let it out. We'll within reason, right? Within absolute reason.
Yeah.
Nothing that ever got embargoed.
We always double, triple check our sources.
Yeah. And that's the thing. If our sources say something and then something else happens, that's okay. Guess what? That's the reality of 99% of sports coverage in general. And there's a lot of false flags that are happening with SDFC because it's a new team, because there is money, because it's a new project, because all of these different things. And am I saying that Sergio Ramos is not going to happen? I don't know. Like I can see ways where it can, just in the same way as I can give you a list of things that's going to say no. To give an example, we'll continue this video right now. Chuky Lozano. Something that I always had understood is that, I can say something, but as long as there's new information being input, if I don't work around that new input of information, then I'm just being an idiot.
Yeah.
Right. There is new information, which Chuky Lozano, and we'll get to that here in a bit.
Yeah, we'll dive into that for sure.
With this, Sergio Ramos, Real Madrid, SDFC.
Ex-Madrid, yeah. So Madrid being SDFC essentially being the Madrid of the United States. Who are some of those players you may ask that they're going to? Go ahead, play it.
Entre otros, Keylor Navas, Sergio Ramos, Luka Modric y no sé si me dejo alguno más.
Nacho.
Y Nacho.
So
you can translate those names.
SDFC, with his sources saying that they would be going after Keylor Navas. Keylor Navas, who reportedly told PSG that he's not returning after the season. Sergio Ramos, his contract's up with Sevilla. Luka Modric, already 39, I think.
Yeah.
Already, if not 40 already. With Real Madrid contract ending at the end of the season as well. And Nacho Fernandez already telling the club that he will not be returning. So those are 4 of the players that maybe SDFC could look into. Again, like Esteban said, puro humo, could be. Whether they dive in for that and go for that, I mean, who knows? Would you like to see that here in San Diego?
It's an interesting strategy. Just like these
Your
European players
academy
that are
thing will
coming
really
in.
play out later.
And the academy, I think, is more based on is the attacking motion of it, right? Where if you have speedsters, young tacticians who are really good on the ball, on the dribble, who have that counter-attacking mindset, you don't necessarily need to have that same speed youth in the defensive side of things. So say like Sergio Ramos, right? Like he's going to come in, he's a strong player, he's going to get a couple red cards, probably break the record for red cards in a season, sure, but like that's just kind of setting the standard. Chiellini came over for LAFC and he adapted well. Like that's just a hard-nosed style and really just kind of taken. He was 100%. He was champion. But that on a defensive side, that's someone who is going to be good wherever, in whichever team around the world you put him. Can Sergio Ramos be that? Potentially, but he's going to be a leader for these young players who are coming in. And I think that's something that they have to take into consideration as well, is who they're going to put around these youngsters who are coming in, and who are they going to take priority to lead them into that next step of their professional career. It's an overall development of these players. So you need to put some pieces around that aren't going to be volatile, that aren't going to be, partying and this and this and that, because you're just kind of breeding a culture that's not necessarily best conducive to be around youngsters, right? And look, I mean, Sergio Ramos has a banging song out, completely 180 in his career. So shout out to his flamenco roots.
But yeah, so I mean, a lot of these players, they could potentially come and yeah, it would be that direct competition with Inter Miami, that old Barcelona versus old Real Madrid, and it's going to be a lot of these players just at the age that they're at now. Will it be entertaining? Yeah. Will it be nostalgic? Absolutely. I mean, especially if you're a fan of those of us who saw the Clásicos, I mean, throughout those years, right? Those were some of the best Clásicos in history.
Yeah.
Is it a lot of smoke? Of course it is. I mean, with Chuky Lozano, it's advanced talks, but is it going to happen? Like you said, who knows? I mean, Chuky Lozano, the plan technically was signing him officially before the Copa America. So throughout the Copa America, when they talk about him, it's like, oh, it's San Diego FC's new player. That all went to shit already with the call up for the Copa America from La Selección from Jimmy Lozano. He cleaned house. He did not call up Chuky Lozano. He did not call up players like Raúl Jiménez, Guillermo Ochoa. So all these players are technically on the thin ice where they're not even probably going to be in the next World Cup. The thing with Chuky Lozano, as I know you're pulling up this great article by Cesar H. Fútbol, our friend Cesar Hernandez, Chuky Lozano interviewed with ESPN and pretty much gave his thoughts on preferring Liga MX over MLS.
Yeah, just point blank. Like,
and that's the thing, where you're already not going to the Copa America. If you're Chuky Lozano and you really want to play one more World Cup, what are your best options? Staying in PSV and trying to compete for a starting position where you're going to play at top level in Europe. So that's probably the best chance that you'll get. And if you're going to go either back to Mexico or MLS is not the level. Like, we've seen Mexican players star in the World Cup that played in Liga MX at the time. Luis Chavez was a great example in the last World Cup, still playing for Pachuca. In this interview, he says that he would prefer to go to Pachuca over San Diego FC, over MLS.
Yeah, go back home. right?
Exactly.
They go back home, be a hometown hero. Pachuca currently is in a run of form where they just got knocked out of the playoffs by America in controversial fashion. But they have a very, very good, solid base. The youth is good. And if you put an experienced player like Chuky Lozano there, put that speed on speed, like I can definitely see that working, reinventing himself, revitalizing his international career, and becoming an important part of the World Cup coming up, because the World Cup is coming up and all these players have to take that into consideration. And this is a wake up call by Jimmy Lozano.
Yeah, 100%. And if he doesn't go to Pachuca, he can go to Chivas, reunite with Guti and Pocho Guzman, back in the very young Pachuca team that ended up being champions. So I still think if he were to come back, going to the Liga MX would be more beneficial for him and his career than going to the MLS.
Yeah.
And staying in Europe should be his main goal, and trying to fight for a starting position at PSV. PSV is a team that loves him. The fans love him. The club loves him.
He's loved in Europe.
Yeah, he can definitely fight for a starting position there. Defending champion. They're winning they won the league at PSV over in Netherlands. So staying in that team would be crucial.
It was certainly a strategy, right? And something that Abe, actually, before cameras went rolling, we were kind of chit-chatting about, and there he is. Like magic is just the why these things happen. And as we're getting, again, this is uncharted territory for San Diego soccer in general, but these are the way that these things go. With these high marquee players, there is a certain gamesmanship by agents, by teams, letting something leak, letting something, because this was something from Tom Bogert. Like it was an incredibly credible source, but then this just kind of refutes that. Was it a change in mindset, a tactic? You were mentioning, that you think it potentially could have been a tactic.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the time, I don't want to question reporting of other people. I think Tom Bogert's like one of the best American reporters we have right now in terms of soccer. But it's just Chuky Lozano, in the interview he did with ESPN Netherlands that Cessa translated, it's pretty obvious that he even said at one point, like, I had no ideas about rumors of me going to San Diego, which maybe that could just be his agents talking to the MLS team to kind of raise the price for him. But yeah, I think there's very little possibility of Chuky Lozano coming to San Diego.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Advanced talks is very different than actually happening. I know, Tony, you mentioned like you talked to your sources as well, and they told you, we're talking to Chuky, we're trying to get Chuky Lozano over to San Diego FC. But again, not getting called up to the Copa America is definitely a wake-up call, and it was a wake-up call for a lot of people from Mexico. It's a thing where people are upset and people are not happy, and it's gonna be one of those things where they're never gonna be happy with whatever a coach from Mexico does. But Chuky Lozano did put up a message saying like, hey, the players getting their first call-ups and representing Mexico in the Copa America, pretty much échenle huevos, because it's a privilege getting to represent your nation in a big tournament like this. So I really don't think Chuky Lozano will come to San Diego. I find that very difficult now, especially since he's in this position where he needs to prove himself to Jimmy Lozano to make the World Cup roster. So going to San Diego FC, I don't see that in his future. And if it does, he probably won't get called up for the World Cup.
And just from the media coverage angle of it, to kind of like pull you behind the curtain of what I've learned, most of these big stories, these big rumors and stuff, they're all coming out on Mondays. It's all to kind of get people to talk about it, have something to talk about on these sports shows and stuff. Like we're talking about it now. And you're going to see all these rumors on Monday morning. So fans can talk about it. You can get engaged. Oh, is Kevin De Bruyne coming to SDFC? Sergio Ramos, Chuky Lozano. I think one of those players is likely to come to SDFC. Sergio Ramos with advanced talks sounds a lot more concrete than, I don't even know if I want to say that, because they gave a dollar figure for the Chuky Lozano move.
Yeah. And again, things change. There's new inputs. There's new this. Did Chuky Lozano really not think that he was going to be ousted from the Copa America roster? Maybe not. And that took him from surprise. And now he needs to make a pivot in his career where he thought, okay, cool. It's fine. I just won the Eredivisie with PSV. I'm going to come back. I'm going to do great. play well in the MLS, and I'm going to be in the Gold Cup. I'm closer to the World Cup. Like, it's going to be here. Like, it just makes sense. And then, I'm not on it. I need to do a switch.
Yeah.
I need to do something. So,
Sergio Ramos going to the MLS is a lot more believable too. I mean, he's already going to be 39 by next season in the MLS. So, I mean, that's more. I think I see that more as a possibility than a Chuky Lozano that's turning 29 that still has 2 years to prove himself in his career to be able to get called up for the World Cup. Sergio Ramos has nothing else to prove. At the end of the day, for him, it would just be a paycheck and living in a nice city like San Diego.
Yeah, but I will push back on what you said earlier. You don't he was one of the best players we've ever seen. Like, this was a player of our lifetime. Like, Hall of Famer, first ballot, World Cup winner. That it would be insane if this is the marquee signing, in my opinion. It would have been bigger than Chuky Lozano.
I agree.
Yes, no, it would be. It would be for sure. Name wise, it would be. But again, that 39-year-old, I don't know what impact he'll have when it comes to the game.
He's going to make these videos. That's not Sergio Ramos, but it's actually a really good song. You never seen this?
No.
Babe.
My grandpa gave his thoughts on him. I was telling him about the rumor, and he was like, El Viejito. So,
your grandpa called Sergio Ramos El Viejito?
Yeah.
Yeah, see? It's Sergio Ramos.
There he is.
Have you heard this? Look, get some audio here.
It's copyrighted.
It's future SDFC captain, potentially, Sergio Ramos. Gonna sing himself.
I will give my 2 cents. If they were to get Keylor Navas, that would be a great goalkeeper signing.
But
I mean, he's the greatest player to play in CONCACAF. I mean, you can't argue that. I mean, a Champions League winner.
I guess.
He's the greatest, most decorated player in CONCACAF history.
I guess.
Bringing that player over to MLS would be a very big signing, and it's a player that still has a lot of years to give in his career too.
He had a lot to do with Costa Rica going further in the 2014 World Cup. Hugo Sanchez.
I mean,
yes,
clear?
Francisco's right.
37 years old.
Hugo Sanchez clear?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hugo Sanchez clear. Yeah,
that's
not happening.
I don't know, man.
I'll believe the Pio Herrera one's better, honestly.
I will believe that one over that.
Especially with the breaking news that happened today with SDFC. Are we good to talk about that now? SDFC collaborating with Cholos de Tijuana.
Yeah, so that was announced today in the inbox. Let's get the official wording for this sorted out, because this kind of came up, and we've been asking our sources on both sides of the border, hey, you think about this? The official press release coming this afternoon from SDFC that Club Tijuana and SDFC will hold a joint press conference on Thursday, May 16th. It's going to be around 4:30 to 5 p.m. in the afternoon. We'll have that information on a new joint announcement ahead of San Diego FC's inaugural season in 2025. This will happen at the global headquarters for SDFC in Little Italy. Cool name. Like we said, on May 16th. Can we say this in the same way 3 times? I don't know, but definitely an event that's going to be happening here coming up. There's going to be appearances from SDFC CEO Tom Penn. There's also going to be the CEO, Vice Chairman, and Zaquan Tribal Chairman Cody Martinez. We've seen that pair of individuals just kind of tag team events throughout San Diego in its initial launch, as well as Club Tijuana sporting representatives. And on top of that, Club Tijuana president and owner, Jorge Alberto Hank. Not
Hank Jr.
That's Hank Jr., not the former mayor of Tijuana, el ingeniero.
Hankron.
El ingeniero, señor Hankron. But that's going to be happening this Thursday. So,
what do you guys think it's going to be, the announcement? I mean, there's a lot of speculation about what it's going to be. It's going to be a friendly between both teams as a first game for SDFC, a Chrome Ball tour in Tijuana.
Yeah, that's my bet. That's what I think is happening. football tournament.
I believe more like a friendly between both teams happening as the first game for San Diego FC.
Yeah, that's probably more likely.
I think so too, just because there's not going to be a lot of overlap in terms of collaboration outside of being, as they said, self-proclaimed rivals. It's later on. I don't know if you guys saw this, but where it says, where to go? Based less than 25 miles apart, SDFC and Xolos will become the closest international football rivals in the area and are set to make major joint announcements on Thursday. So already they're putting themselves as rivals to Xolos. I think that's, kind of natural by default in a lot of ways, but just interesting that they utilize that verbiage there. And I think that sets up for either a series of international friendlies with each other. I don't think
it'll be anything like players from Xolos coming to SDFC. I mean, if you're SDFC, you don't want anything to do with those players. Personally, I mean,
you don't want Joe Corona on SDFC?
No, I mean, Xolos just had one of the worst seasons in their history.
Yeah, it was a horrible season.
60 to 80% of the SDFC players will come from San Diego and Tijuana.
Yeah,
not yet. Yes, but not yet.
They're going to be competing in the academy space.
Exactly.
San Diego FC has the right through MLS rules to go across the border, and within 50 miles, I think, is like the rule.
A right to dream partnership with Xolos.
That's exactly
Xolos
what I was
the
thinking
first
about.
Right to Dream project in Liga MX, and Right to Dream takes over their academy. I can see that.
And maybe not necessarily taking over the academy, but just having that partnership of like
that influence.
This is where the players are going to go and get that professional experience. We have these youngsters that are coming in. Sure, we can put them with the first team if they're ready for SDFC, but those that are on the fringe, let's go ahead and send them over to Xolos. Let's go ahead and have them over there. Why? Xolos historically a cheap franchise, historically una fábrica.
Xolos is a business.
Yeah, it's a business. Like it's one of those things that's like you kind of own a casino next to it. So very interesting kind of parameters that they operate under, but in terms of like buying players, they mostly develop.
Mascot is the dogs that you raised right next to the stadium.
But yeah, so what about El Paso and FC Juarez?
I think Jeff's right there. It's probably closer.
Yeah, but I think that email said more in the area here in San Diego. I don't think it meant overall, right?
I mean, because technically San Isidro is San Diego, the city of San Diego. I don't know. It's a technicality. I don't want to delve into technicalities because that gets us phone calls.
And technically, El Paso is a USL team.
I wouldn't mind a yearly home and away match. That'd be really cool. For the what? What is that?
El Paso is a USL team. Like this is more of an MLS. First division versus first division.
New stadium with airport CBX crossing. That'd be amazing. Actually, that'd be
There's
really
so
cool.
much space there that makes too much sense, Jeff. Like move all the Amazon warehouses, just plop a stadium right there, build around it. That would be so cool, in my opinion.
If this turns out to be true, this is very interesting. Jeremy Pritchett, when we got our tickets on Friday, our SDFC rep said that this will be an annual game. He did not say if it was a preseason or what, but he said that the game will be part of the package.
Yeah, I mean,
I very believable. If that's true, that's
one
true.
Game at Estadio Caliente, one game at Snapdragon.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a no-brainer. That's a collaboration we always ask for San Diego Loyal to do with Xolos. We've asked San Diego Wave. They've done it in a very minor way where they just had friendlies. The friendlies against San Diego Loyal were literally the under 23 for Xolos going to Royal Stadium. So it wasn't the top tier team. And with Wave, we couldn't see it was a closed door game. So
and what's gonna happen is they're gonna throw a trophy on it, La Copa Fronteriza, La Copa Frontera, and that's what this series is gonna be. It's gonna be a you take one, you take Francisco. Again, thank you for joining us, Francisco. It says that they will likely play every year in Leagues Cup, so it's not like they're not going to see each other. But yeah, this is like a little solidified partnership in that space, as you're saying that they're going to be competing in other realms. So it's very interesting times, and will we see? I know there's people excited on the Instagram comment section about Sergio Ramos. Will we potentially see Sergio Ramos, making an appearance in Estadio Caliente? Like just wild times. Ronaldinho played there. Like why not? Right?
Sold out game they'll have.
This will likely be top of leagues matches. Yeah, no, like that's definitely going to happen. Exciting times, and if that's true, then I really look forward to that relationship and partnership. Unless they put a Wave Cholo Femenil, could very well happen too. Could very well happen. And
these are both businesses that want to make money, so they will sell out that stadium, both stadiums.
100%.
That just reminded me, at the Wave game, Chiva, you missed it. They had, I think this is the Maria Sanchez effect. That's what I told Tony. But at the Wave game, there was a Chivas fan there that whenever it got a tiny bit quiet, he just started, Arriba las Chivas. Just
Arriba las Chivas.
Yeah.
Was this for the Wednesday game?
Sunday.
No, this was
Sunday. Oh, nice. Because Wednesday that Chivas fan would not be there because Chivas were playing Toluca at the same time.
Well, maybe they really support the local game.
100%.
And it was he looked like the stereotypical Chivas fan too. Like, it was kind of.
What is that, huh? Tell me.
Just the sunglasses and the haircut. It was the haircut. Honestly, it was the haircut. He wants to look like Cade Cowell.
Cowboy.
You
Cowboy
leave
Cow?
my vaquero. We got those 3 points against Toluca, all right?
Cowboy Cow. What does a stereotypical Chivas fan look like? Look at that. There we go. Yeah, no, interesting times with San Diego FC, and the wheels are moving with them. He looked like Gonzalo.
That's a stereotypical Chivas fan.
That is
Gonzalo.
Gonzalo. 100%. Yeah, Gonzalo. Did he look like Chiva? No, Chiva was busy recovering. David, you missed it. Look, no.
Oh, no much.
We go back to the beginning of the episode. Viewer discretion is advised. Very happy to have Chiva here alive. Stereotypical Chivas fan. Yeah, no, 100%. We all know him. There's a Theos. There's a young generation. There's a certain phenotype of them. That's a very good word for it. Phenotype. Anyways, at the end of the day, this is exciting stuff. We're gonna go ahead and be there on Thursday. Talk to some officials and get an update just on as far as where the team is in terms of like success of what they've been able to roll out in the community, been able to roll out the academy, building it, they're renovating it for the launch of the academy. 60 to 80% of players coming from San Diego, Tijuana area for SDFC. Yes, 100%. I believe that. But not until after the first 4-5 years will that percentage reflect that. I believe.
And even then, I still don't think.
Even then, it's going to be tough. But overall,
it'd be great.
It's really cool. It's really cool to be able to see that, to see how they're going to go ahead and train, just to see what the elements that they're bringing in and how they're going to be training these kids and leading that pack. I heard something that was very interesting as far as like just the development and the model of having 12 and 13-year-olds start to develop like 100% into soccer. And some people say that that's even too late.
Mm-hmm.
And the development and the growth of athletes really has to come from the mechanics that they learned from when they're 7, 8, 9. So it's like, is Right Dream going to look at that? Are they going to start building towards that? Because they've set a hard date and age for, I believe, 13-year-olds to be that base of the first class. So things to look forward to. We'll be there this Thursday. With all that information, we're going to go ahead and also, like I said, be with the San Diego Wave with some press conference content. Kalen Sheridan coming in hopefully soon, as well as Maria Sanchez to the Two Balls and a Mic virtual studio.
We'll bring back next week El Juego Bonito.
Yeah, we're going to bring that, all of that.
Great.
Look, I had the gaff, and it was the goal that Miguel Berry scored. The goalkeeper did not do well there. But yeah, that's going to be coming up. And also just kind of breaking news that San Diego Punto Football has been approved for Copa America coverage. So another little badge of honor. Thank you for everybody who's helped us in this journey. That's another step.
The World Cup journey.
That's another step. And hopefully it's enough steps to be able to cover Ghana versus Serbia, I don't know, game in the World Cup. If we get to a Mexican game, that'd be great. I'll take that anytime, any day. Another name that would be really cool, just to kind of throw that out there. You mentioned it earlier. If not Keylor Navas,
David De Gea.
That'd be cool. I like David De Gea as a human being and as a goalkeeper. Good things there. Anything else that we're missing, Abe? No, right? I think we're good. Season's greetings to everybody who's joined us in the chat. Say hi to everybody you love. Say hi to everybody who, even those you, they need a little pick me up. Shiva, I'm glad you're alive.
Thank you.
Glad
Me
you
too.
continue the streak. Glad
Thank
you didn't wuss that. No, I'm kidding. You are a warrior. Been driving you all day. And I'm kind of tired of you. So it's time for us to separate
We didn't see
here.
me for a whole week, so.
Check out everything at sandiego.futbol. That's the...
Chinga su madre la América.
Oh, no, boy. That's going to be interesting. See you next week, gentlemen, ladies, human beings. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Sandiego.futbol forever.